You bought it. You paid for it. It's yours. Right? Not exactly. More and more of the things you think you own, you don't actually own at all. So when did ownership disappear? And what replaced it? Imagine sliding a brand new compact disc out of its case, the plastic wrap crackling in your hands. You paid for it. You own it. No logins, no accounts, no fine print. That disc is yours to play, lend, sell, or stash away for decades. In 1999, nearly 1 billion compact discs shipped worldwide, each one a tiny vault of music, sitting on bedroom shelves and car dashboards everywhere. Flip through your movie collection, stack up your games, or dig out those chunky software boxes. Everything you bought was yours in the simplest sense. No one could take it back. The first sale doctrine made it law. If you bought something, you controlled it. You could trade it, gift it, or leave it to gather dust. Ownership felt permanent, solid, like a promise that lasted as long as the object itself. But that's not where things changed. The world of simple, permanent ownership quietly faded, and most people never saw it go. April 2003. The iTunes store opens its virtual doors. Suddenly, millions of songs are just a click away. No more waiting for shipments or hunting through shelves. For 99 cents, you could have the world's music library in your pocket. But there was a catch buried in the fine print. Every song came wrapped in Fairplay DRM, a digital lock that decided where, how, and even if you could play your music. You didn't own the track, you owned permission to access it, tied to your Apple ID and Apple's rules. Copying to other devices was limited. Burning CDs was restricted. Lose your account and you lose your music. Around the same time, software started asking for activation keys. Windows XP would not run unless you proved you had the right code. The old promise, buy it and it's yours, quietly vanished behind passwords and locked files. It all felt so easy, so modern, but that's where things changed. The trade was simple, ultimate convenience, surrendered control, and most people never saw the lock until it clicked shut. Ownership, once a simple matter of holding a record or a film reel, began to blur as the digital age accelerated. The familiar comfort of a bookshelf lined with albums or a cabinet stacked with DVDs gave way to invisible libraries stored on distant servers. The old rules were simple: buy it, keep it, lend it. Suddenly they felt outdated. Instead, access replaced possession. Subscriptions became the new keys, unlocking vast catalogs that could vanish with a single policy change or a lapsed payment. The sense of ownership, once grounded in physical objects, shifted to something more uncertain, dictated by terms of service and licensing agreements few ever read. This wasn't just a change in how people listen to music or watch movies. It marked a turning point in the very idea of ownership, raising questions about permanence, value, and trust. As the streaming era took hold, the boundaries between what belonged to the individual and what belonged to the platform grew increasingly hard to define. The next chapter unfolds at this crossroads. Netflix flipped the switch in 2007. No more red envelopes, no more waiting for the mail. Suddenly, thousands of movies and shows streamed instantly to your screen. All you needed was a subscription. One low monthly fee, one endless library. By 2022, Netflix had over 150 million subscribers, each one paying for access, not for a collection. The DVD shelf started to look like a relic overnight. Music and movies were not alone. In 2008, Steam made games digital, but with a twist. Buy a title and it lived in your account, not on your shelf. Your library was now a password and a server connection away. If your account vanished, so did your games. The rules had changed, but the change felt invisible. Steam's model became the gold standard for gaming, and soon, physical discs gathered dust in bargain bins. Then came Adobe Creative Cloud in 2013. Photoshop, once a $600 box you could use forever, turned into a $50 a month subscription. Miss a payment? The software locks you out. By 2020, Adobe counted 22 million Creative Cloud subscribers. The promise was always up to date, always connected. The reality was you never fully owned the tools you depended on. Everywhere you looked, the model was the same. Streaming, subscriptions, digital libraries. Access became the new normal. Companies stopped selling products and started selling permission. It felt like progress, it felt like freedom. But that is not where things changed. A quiet jolt hit readers in 2009. Amazon reached into thousands of Kindles and erased George Orwell's 1984. Books people had paid for, now gone without warning. No refund, no explanation. Just a message: your purchase was a license, not a possession. One morning, a reader woke to find her notes and highlights vanished along with the novel. The outrage was instant, but the lesson was permanent. If a company controls the switch, ownership is an illusion. The same logic now lurks in the driveway. Modern cars, packed with sensors and chips, shipped with features locked behind paywalls. Heated seats, remote start, even adaptive cruise control, functions built into the vehicle but disabled unless you pay a monthly fee. In 2022, BMW offered a subscription for heated seats. Miss a payment, and your car gets colder. Ford owners found their remote start deactivated after a billing issue. Tesla drivers pay $199 a month for full self-driving, a feature that can disappear with a software update. The hardware is there. The privilege is leased. At home, smart devices follow the same pattern. A security camera stops recording if the subscription lapses. A connected speaker loses its voice when a company shuts down its servers. The promise of convenience hides a simple truth: control lives elsewhere. The thing you bought can vanish, break, or be bricked by a remote command. And this is where everything shifted. Ownership, once a guarantee, is now a gamble. Recurring revenue changed the rules. Monthly recurring revenue, MRR, became the magic number. Instead of a one-time sale, companies now count on a steady stream. Price per user multiplied by the number of active accounts, month after month. Investors love it. Wall Street loves it. Predictable cash beats the gamble of hoping someone buys a new version next year. But the real trick is lock-in. When your music, your files, your features all live behind a login, switching is not just annoying, it is expensive. Feature flags flip on or off with a click. Lose your subscription, and the things you thought you bought vanish. Telemetry tracks every click, every habit, feeding the machine more data to keep you hooked. Access is not just a product, it is a leash. And this is where everything shifted. A new fight is breaking out on the other side of the screen. In California, lawmakers passed Assembly Bill 2426 in 2024, a law that forces digital stores to admit what most people never realized. Buying a song or a movie online is just buying a license, not ownership. Now, every purchase comes with a warning label. The law demands that companies display the truth right at checkout. No more hiding behind fine print. Across the country, right-to-repair activists are pushing back against lockdown devices and disposable tech. Groups like iFixit, Repair.org, and the Electronic Frontier Foundation are rallying consumers, publishing repair guides, and lobbying for new laws. Their message is simple: if you paid for it, you should control it. In Europe, the right-to-repair movement is gaining ground too, with new rules on spare parts and repairability. The battle lines are drawn. On one side, corporations defending their walled gardens. On the other, a growing movement demanding real ownership. The fight is only getting started. Every tap, every stream, every login trades ownership for access. Today, companies can revoke what you pay for, sometimes without warning. The line between user and product blurs a little more each day. The future isn't about what you own, it's about what you're allowed to keep. Subscribe to see what's next.